How to beat poverty. Hey guys, how are you today? Have you checked out the TikTok shop? I feel like TikTok definitely wants you guys to succeed, and it's great, especially for the poor community, for poor people. This is really good for you guys. To grab, especially in the AA community. A lot of people in the AA community get denied services. Majority of the people that are homeless are in the AA community or are military veterans. There are other races that are that do suffer with poverty, but the most are people from the AA community. What I've noticed. But this doesn't just apply for people in the AA community. This applies for anybody that's struggling, anybody that's struggling with housing and struggling and ending up on the street, etc., etc. I want you guys to understand that there are tools. TikTok is super great. I don't know how perfect it is, but it really wants you to succeed, because if you can check out, look at this kettle. I remember when I was homeless, this is the cup that I was looking for. Literally, like the only company that was out there for us, that was allowing us to get hot water, God bless Starbucks, was Starbucks. Starbucks was providing meals. They were providing, not all the time, but there were a lot of great employees that would offer great meals. Starbucks would offer will give us free hot water. In the United States, you're not allowed to deny people water, period, point blank. Some people do deny water, or they charge 25 cents, and this makes it hard for people to survive. This also makes America look like a very non-generous place, when it's not America that's not generous. It's the people, the companies that open businesses that just don't want to be a part of caring, and they don't have it in their heart, and they don't have it to give to people. So Starbucks definitely cares for you guys. I want you to know that Starbucks is a part of feeding veterans and helping people that are poor. So over here at Capital One, they do not give hot water. So this TikTok shop made this cup very affordable. I mean, to me, it's affordable. It's a decent amount. It's reasonable, because it was to $26, which it is worth 26, about probably even more. But TikTok made it only $15, $11, which makes me feel like TikTok definitely cares about me and cares about people, because guess what? They don't give out hot water in every place. And sometimes you need hot water to just make some soup, some chicken noodle soup. I don't eat chicken, but some noodle soup, anything. Poor people eat noodles and cheap things, and coffee, and make their own coffee, because they can't afford coffee. They can't afford coffee at a coffee shop, right? So the cool thing about Capital One is you get 50% off with your card when you're when you open an account. But whenever I went to Capital One, they were like, I was like, hey, can I get some hot water? Capital One did not have hot water. It's not that they didn't have all hot water. They say they don't give out hot water. And I feel like they don't give out hot water because people were going in the store just asking for hot water and not buying anything. And it wasn't just people. It was like homeless people just kept coming in and out taking cups. And that takes from the company when they're taking cups and not investing and not putting money into the company. The company starts to run short, and there's bills to pay to keep this place open, to keep the lights on. So those are all things that you can take into consideration. It's not that the company necessarily always doesn't want to do anything for you. It's just they don't have, the energy to keep telling homeless people, hey, don't sit here, don't sit there. There are programs and places for you to sit. The only issue with these programs is there are people that are undertrained, people that don't know how to communicate. They end up pissing people off. That's why I was on the street instead of living in a shelter. I had people talking to me like I wasn't shit. People that worked there that weren't treating me right, and I was like, they weren't talking to me right, and that was setting me off. And I was like, I'd rather be outside by myself than be inside and deal with this. It was like fighting one battle after the other, and I was like, I don't want to sit here and have to tell you how to talk to people. Like, you should know how to talk to people. You are an employee. I understand the people that live here, but the people that work here, it's just like, it became ridiculous. And I was like, let me sit this one out, and I prefer to just let me focus on what I can with my own self before I can put myself out here. So so we found this really cool kettle cup. It heats itself up. All you have to do is charge it. If you can get about 2 or 3 of these, girl, you better get 2 or 3 of these, because I'm telling you, in case one messes up, this is one you don't want it to run out. You don't want them to run out. This is a very helpful tool. It also beats you having to make tea all the time, run and pick up the big tea and pour it. You know what I mean? You can just go anywhere with this. So how to beat poverty, you buy something like this, and you buy, like back in the days, I used to cook some beans outside. I had a lot going on, but I used to cook rice on the train. I did everything that I could to try to survive. That was my only thing. And it was really sad. It's really sad when your mind fails you, or when you rely on someone and they don't show up for you because someone didn't show up for them, or for whatever reason. But every mistake that happens, there is something good. Like, for instance, because my caseworkers said that they would book my appointment and didn't book my appointment the second time around, that I ended up relapsing and having to drink alcohol when I didn't want to relapse or drink alcohol. But I went to the hospital, I went to the clinic and got my injection. But then they gave me an extra bottle of medication in case it happens again, which is something that I really need, and something else. So there's always something to learn from every situation. Don't get mad and don't get beat up. Don't beat yourself up for if you get evicted because the people around you are not prepared, they're not understanding enough. The universe is always going to find. We're trying to build programs that can, this is what I'm saying, so that people don't get kicked out for no reason. We want to build programs inside of the apartment complexes to deal with the people, see if we can actually try to help. Because if you don't try to help, then that's bad on your end. It's like, did you at least try to help the person, or did you just throw them out and say, hey, good riddance, you didn't do a good job, horrible. So it's always bad for business if you don't try to help. I don't ever want to be the kind of person in my heart that didn't try to help. You get what I mean? I don't want to be that rich snobby, that rich person that got rich off of everybody. God gave me the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and the intelligence to get rich. And then all of a sudden I use that wealth just for myself and my family, and I don't use the wealth to help everyone else. There's a reason why God tells us to feed the poor, because God is a universal man. He's not a man that just lives for himself. He's a man with a responsibility, and this universe relies on him for survival. So he knows the reasons why we have to feed the poor. We have to be careful with immigrants, not illegal immigrants. I'm not saying don't be careful. I'm just saying that, we told you not to come to this country illegally and you chose to do it. So whatever happens to you is your problem, not ours. But I do ask that people are very careful in dealing with other people, right? These are real humans, and life doesn't get real until you face your reality and go under attack, and you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And so the best thing to do is, I know it feels bad to take finances away from people that have worked hard for their finances and they want rest. But if you watch how people are spending their money, and people are literally spending their money on Versace, like most expensive bags and things that money shouldn't go to. It's your job as the president to remove that money from those people. That is financial abuse, emotional abuse, and that is mental abuse towards people in the world. There are people that are starving. There are people that can use that money. There are people that can use that help. And if you are a leader, you have to stand firm. Some people are afraid, but you have the whole military on your side. If they want to go to war with you, then you go to war with them, right? You put them down, because you have to let them know, hey, you have to do something with this money. And the universe, the government does tell people that, but I don't think they tell them enough. That money has to go towards great causes. You can no longer buy $5,000 bags. You can't. You cannot, because you're earning money from people from this country. People died for people in this country. White guys, white people, black people were killed so you can fuck up and not help the people that are in need, that makes it unsafe for foreigners and new people to come into this country. Just think about that.